Ready? Yeah.
Chip, what is this feeling like for you to be, one step closer to the ultimate goal, and to not just do it, but do it as emphatically as you all did tonight in all facets of the game?
Obviously, it's great to feel like you didn't leave anything on the table, which I feel like we didn't tonight. You can always be better. We're going to look and see how we can be better, but overall, I feel like we played a really good game. Everyone down the roster who got in played well, and it's a lot easier on the nerves than those close games. So.
Chet, you obviously don't win a game by this margin without everybody playing pretty well. But the way that Shai played tonight, I know it's just a continuation of the season he's had, but I think he scored or assisted on like the first 5 or so baskets of the game. Just what did you make of his impact overall tonight?
Yeah, I think he does a great job of playing aggressive and then letting the game tell him what the right play is. Sometimes that's score, sometimes that's to pass. But you never really feel like watching him or playing with him. You never feel like he made the wrong read. When the defense gives him pass, he passes. When the defense doesn't force that, then he scores, obviously, and he's really good at it. And we saw that again tonight, no different than what we've been seeing. And, credit to him for having a really good game.
Andrew Schlecht with The Athletic. Chet, have you had time to just reflect on what this season has been like for you, being injured, having to come back, and then, now on your way to the NBA Finals?
Yeah. Obviously I've thought about it. Before getting hurt feels like it wasn't even part of the same season, but, we're still in this thing, so kind of more thinking about what we have to do going forward than where we've been.
Anybody else? All right, thank you, Chet.
Call product placement. Well, I tried.
The next one. Oh, just a real quick picture. They got it. All right, they got it.
The next one.
Shai, Mark said that you and Lou really helped set a tone right from the outset of this one as the 2 longest tenured guys on this team. Just what did you feel maybe as a connection between the 2 of you to be in the frame of mind you needed to be for this closeout game?
Like me personally, I wanted 2 things. I didn't want to go back to Minnesota, travel-wise, and then I wanted the fans to be able to enjoy the moment with us. I wanted them to be able to see it unfold in front of their eyes. I wanted them to be able to celebrate tonight in our building, go home, get drunk, whatever they do. I wanted them to have fun with the moment, and it was good. I just wanted to make sure that, like, above all, I could give my energy and my effort to try to give these fans what they deserve.
Shai, one of the first things, over to your right, one of the first things you did when you got the Conference Finals MVP trophy tonight was hand it over to your teammates. Even outside of the game of basketball, what does this group of guys do for you in your life?
Yeah, they're special. I think, like, the biggest thing is, like, they make the NBA, like, not feel like a job. And it can at times with all the travel and all the hard days, the ups and downs. Now, I know I sound spoiled being in the NBA and complaining about hard days, but these guys really make it feel like I'm a kid playing AU basketball and 15 years old again. Like, they make it seem like it's just fun. And I think that's what makes us really good. Like, we have so much fun being out there together. And I'm sure we all know, like, when you're having fun with things, you give it your all and you excel at it because you enjoy it. Now, whether that's your job or not, but whatever you have fun with, you excel at, and that's why we've excelled for sure.
I'm not sure either of you right here. I'm not sure either of you knew this, but the last time the Thunder had a chance to clinch a finals berth was 9 years ago today. The Clay Game 6 in 2016. Obviously now you guys kind of give this day new meaning for the franchise. What is that like to sort of be part of the second chapter, the second mountain, as Sam likes to say, for the franchise?
Yeah, there's no correlation at all. We didn't even think about that coming into the game. That's something that, like you said, 9 years ago, we have no control over. Unfortunate event, obviously, but all we can do is come here tonight and control our energy and our effort and our focus level to give these fans what they deserve, and then our families what they deserve. Everyone that's sacrificed for us, they deserve this moment to be able to celebrate at home. And we took care of business from the jump. We were focused. We were together. We were energetic. We were aggressive, and the game turned out the way it did because of that.
Andrew Schleck with The Athletic. This can be for both of you guys, but when Sam kind of laid out the vision for what, this team was going to be, can you tell me a little bit about that from both y'all's perspectives, and then what does it mean to actually see it, start to happen?
Yeah, Sam didn't lay out no vision for me. He traded for me. We had a few conversations. I realized he knows what he's doing very quickly. And then I just trusted him and controlled what I can control. And as you guys can see, he's done a great job of doing his job and has turned things around here very quickly. But yeah, I think it speaks to the tone that he set across the organization. He controls what he can control, and we do that all the way down the ladder. And I think that's why we've been able to have success so quickly.
This question is for both of you guys. Knowing that you have 4 more wins to get, what's the journey been like from you guys from the Dallas series until now? What lessons did you guys learn from that, and how did you guys apply that to this year and getting to where you guys are now?
We just have more experience, more games under our belt, more ups and downs through a season. Just looking back at the last year, a lot of us had never been in that situation except for maybe like 2 of us. So we just have more experience. We've seen a lot more things. Most importantly, we've been able to grow through the experiences and not get stagnant. And I think that's why we're getting a lot of the great results that we are right now.
Shai, I know you said hello to a lot of family and friends, but right after or before the ceremony, you went over and saw your wife and your son. What did that moment mean?
I think the best thing about that moment is that he has no clue what's going on, and he's just happy to see me. Like, you get caught up in life in general, you get caught up in so many things that like don't actually matter, and that's the biggest thing with having my son in the past year. Like, he's put on the forefront. Like, he's showed me everything that actually matters in life, and he reminds me of that every day I wake up. Every day he wakes me up. Every day he cries and wakes me up in the middle of my sleep. Like, he's amazing. He'll see this one day, I guess. But yeah, he puts everything into perspective for sure.
Can I ask both of you there at the end of the game, as the starters were on the bench, you guys were sitting by each other. I don't know what the conversation was like, but what was that like to sort of find the 2 of you sitting by each other watching this game and realizing the next step was an NBA Finals?
Yeah. Honestly, we're always together, so the conversation wasn't much different than it always is. Obviously, happy for the moment, but like, this isn't our goal. This isn't the end of the road. There was no like special conversation. It was just, let's keep getting better. One more series to try to go win.
Joseph Pavone, Clutch Points. Shai, I noticed you had a moment briefly after the trophy ceremony with Kendrick Perkins. Last time Thunder made the finals, he was part of that team. Also, 2008 champion. What was that conversation like with Kendrick?
He just said he was proud of me. Told me to keep going. I said I appreciate it. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Nothing long, just nice, short and sweet.
Jalen, when it became a reality that you're going to the finals, how did it hit you? Did you have a moment? I'm sure it's something you dreamed about.
It feels very surreal. I know that's like a pretty typical word that people say, but that is what I'm feeling. Like, I haven't really been able to like wrap my head around it. I think just from like this being my 3rd year, kind of happened pretty fast. So I'm like trying to like put all of it into perspective, like my brother got into the NBA this year, and like his first year is already done. Like, so there's a lot of like other things that go on that make me think like how fast and how blessed I am to like get to the point that I'm at now and who I'm getting to the finals with. So that went more into my mind just about how lucky I am and how like special this moment is.
Do you reflect on your journey much, coming from unheralded in Santa Clara and to being here now?
Yeah, I try not to forget it just because obviously that's a long way. A long way is a long time from now already. But yeah, just I try and keep it in the back of my mind just as a reminder of the progress that I've made and again, just how blessed I am to kind of get to where I'm at.
Jalen, you've stepped into this role alongside, right next to you, right behind, however you want to term it, Shai, the guy sitting next to you. And since Game 7 of last series, your numbers have been pretty incredible. You had some ups and downs before then. What did you find in yourself sort of in these biggest moments where now you say, oh yeah, I'm ready to do it on the biggest stage that there is in the NBA Finals, show up consistently, because you have been?
I think you kind of said it, just life is ups and downs. Same thing with basketball. I know I put the work in to be good in those moments. So you try not to get too high or too low when you do have an off night, when you do play well. Like you always try and like get back to zero and just center yourself, and that's what I've been able to do. Makes it easy, like you said, when I'm playing alongside him to be able to do that. But a lot of it is just like rolling with the punches and trusting the work that I put in over and over again.
Shai, how much do you reflect on the 22-24 win seasons you had and where you were then, and now you're the MVP of the season, MVP of the Western Conference Finals? I mean, do you reflect it all on those tough years?
Every now and then, those moments like helped shaped my character, I guess, as a basketball player. Helped me to be humble in success. Like, it's kind of the common theme, but like there's so many ups and downs in a career, in a season, in a game, in basketball in general. And those experiences, those hard times have just shown me like you stay humble, you persevere, you can turn things around, you do the right things. And I always whenever I get too emotional or too ahead of myself, I channel back into those memories just because they keep me grounded. And I guess where it all started.
Did it help at all? You did have a 44-win season, the bubble season. Even with the playoffs, your true rookie season with the Clippers, did that help you kind of get through that and then maybe say, hey, you can get to this point?
Say again, sorry?
Did it help the fact you had some winning seasons, like the 44-win season, the bubble season, and even your rookie season you went to with the
Yeah, absolutely. Those 2 years, I had like the guys on those teams were like real NBA veterans and guys that it kind of showed me in certain ways what it's going to take to excel in this league. And that you can't recreate or you can't like reteach. It's just an experience and you go through it. And I was blessed to be on those teams with guys like that. So yeah, those years definitely helped for sure.
Shai, Mark said he thought that the first half in particular was pretty close to the best this team can play. What stood out to you about your team's performance and your performance in that half?
Yeah, the way we got stops. I don't know how many they had at half, but it was very few. And we did a great job of just, it almost seemed like we did everything we were supposed to do defensively. Like, we made it tough on our guys we were supposed to make it tough on. And then from there, it felt like it was tough on everybody, but we were clicking on all cylinders as far as what their tendencies are, what our game plan is, how we want to impact the game, how we want to impact the ball. And then from there, we were able to just run and have fun and be ourselves offensively. It always starts with defense for us, and we were pretty good, really good on that end in the first half for sure.
This is for either of you guys. Throughout the regular season, you guys ran away with the Western Conference, and with 68 wins, all the double-digit wins, and everything else. Was there a point throughout the regular season where you guys figured out you were as good as the record said you were?
The playoffs. I think I don't even remember the regular season, bro. Honestly, the playoffs are like a good challenge, especially like the first round, because you can kind of like the regular season doesn't really matter. And I think we did a really good job of like that was our test. And then obviously last series with Denver, same kind of thing. Like when we're put up against adversity that you don't really have during the regular season, and it's like do or die moments. I think that's where we kind of grew up as a team. I think that last series was big for us. Just obviously, a lot of us, that was our first Game 7, getting over the hump of the second round. I think that was big for us.
Some people felt that 2012 bunch that went to the finals was kind of happy to just be there, whether that's right or wrong. You kind of get the sense watching you guys play and talk afterwards that you realize there's unfinished business.
Yeah, I think I said it before. Like, this isn't our goal. We didn't start the season like we want to win the West. We want to win an NBA championship. Now, we are a step closer to our goal, and we're happy about that, but it's still four more games to go win, 4 really hard games to go win. And we have to be the best version of ourselves for 4 nights to reach the ultimate goal. And we understand that, we know that, and that's what we're focused on.
J-Dub, over to your right. Mark said about his coaching experience tonight that he operates at 100% capacity. I know that's not new information to you, and you've had a lot of coaches throughout your career, but what has it been like to be under his tutelage?
It's been fun. It's cool watching like a coach evolve with us. I don't want to say like grow up because he's obviously a grown up, but like just like he's been able to like understand us over the years, and we've been able to like get comfortable with him and understand him. So there's a really cool trust that goes throughout every single player, and his relationship with every single player is unique. And I think that's what makes him very special. Like he's able to, I guess, get along with everybody in a different way, and he does a really good job of understanding what it feels like to be in a player's shoe for somebody that didn't play. And I think that's very special. And he's really competitive. So he's competitive with coaching, he's competitive with the X's and O's, and we as players feel that and feed off that.
Andrew, last question here, and then Chet will be on. Yeah, Jalen, I just was wondering, whenever you were drafted, you'd said that you'd never really played the 4. You were a guard. And, you know, during the playoffs, you've guarded a lot of big players, and you've done that throughout the regular season and since you've been with the Thunder. But what's that journey been like as a defender, you know, defending much bigger players than you?
It's been very physical. I think I attribute a lot of it to my sophomore summer, I guess, like going into my sophomore year here, just being able to like take my body seriously, eating the right things, putting more weight on. I think I walked into the NBA like 195. So to kind of get to where I'm at now, I think that really opened up the possibilities of me being able to guard other bigger players and just be more versatile. And it's also just something like I lean into. Like I like playing defense. Our team likes playing defense. And I think just over the course of time, like the coaches just threw different assignments at me to see what I can do, and it just made me a better and better player.
Thank you, guys.
Cool. You got the aviators on, shield.
Mark, you guys have talked all week about focusing on the little things, the details. What did you see from the very outset of tonight that you were able to sustain through the 48 minutes to get to this place now?
Yeah, I just thought the mental toughness by the team was great. You know, obviously the opportunity to close the series out. Obviously, up 3-1, you know, it's easy to drift ahead. And we didn't do that at all. We just played the next possession and did a great job, just stacked them up and really, you know, kept the foot on the gas for the entire 48 minutes.
Mark, Valencia King, Real Talk Sports. Mark, one of the things you mentioned on the court tonight was the community of Oklahoma. For the fans across the world, the Thunder fans who may not get to experience this community, how would you describe it?
I mean, this is an unbelievable fan base. It's an unbelievable community. I've said this many times, but we've got a young team. We've had a young team the last couple of years, and the positivity in the community, the support, the encouragement through the ups and downs really puts the wind at our back. And when you've got a young team, these are players that are still trying to find their footing in professional basketball, and to exist in a place, both in the arena and in the community, where everybody kind of has your back through the ups and downs is helpful. You know, it's helped our players grow. I really believe that.
Mark, you said after Game 4, your offense won that game for you. Is it safe to say your defense did it for you in the first half? I mean, Caruso gets a steal a minute, he's in there, and he fouls up another break. Casey Wallace, was it your defense tonight, I guess, that got you going?
Yeah, I just thought the tone that we set in the game was really, really good. You know, just from the jump and all the way through. The guys, like I said, were unbelievably focused. They were able to cut through all the distractions of the game and all the emotions of the game and just compete on the next possession and did an incredible job. It's also a good time to note, I meant to do this off the top, just want to acknowledge Minnesota, who's been one of the best teams in the league for the last couple months, and we're humming in the playoffs coming in. And just like the Denver series, tested us in ways that have helped us grow. And so I have great respect for all those players in the locker room and their organization, Coach Finch and his staff.
Mark, the first thing you said about your team on the court after the game was that they're uncommon. You say it all the time. What's been uncommon about them, maybe specific to this playoff run, and what traits have they sort of sharpened to close out the series the way they did?
Yeah, I mean, I've said that many times. I truly believe that. This is, they're highly professional, consistently professional. They're high-character people. They come from high-character circles. They're unbelievably competitive. They put the work in behind it consistently through the ups and downs. And most of all, they're team first. I said that on the court, but they embody everything it means to be a team. And so they deserve this. You know, they deserve the opportunity that we have now. I couldn't be happier for them because they invest so much in their own games, but they also invest so much in each other and in the team. And I just think it's a really uncommon thing in professional basketball that they've built.
And just like with the Athletic, you talked about how this team has grown even just through this playoff run. In what ways have you seen them grow?
Just through the experiences, you know. I thought today, you know, we're up 3-1. We're coming home. All the psychological, human nature elements of that game would get you to exhale. I didn't think we've handled, you know, Game 6 in Denver. You know, we did not play our best game in terms of what we could control. Certainly Game 3 in this series, those were both with leads. And I thought our recognition of that and our course correction of that coming into tonight's game is a great example of that. These are rich experiences. We've played a lot of playoff games now and dealt with a lot of different things. And this team, as they've always done, you know, they internalize the experience, they strip the emotion, they learn the lesson, and then they compete presently in the next moment. And that's why we've improved at the rate that we have, because they've got that way about them.
Mark, sort of a big picture question. What do you remember about the 2012 team, and you know, kind of what does it mean for you guys to get back as a franchise to the NBA Finals?
I mean, I remember what you guys remember. I was a kid, you know. I was younger, I should say. And those were fun teams, and it built a fun thing here. And like I said on the court, you know, I have unbelievable respect for Mr. Bennett, first of all. The vision that he had to bring the team here, the way that this team has been bound to this community, the way that it has, they've really changed the city, you know, through this team, and that was his vision. And then Sam has done the heavy lifting day to day on bringing that vision to life. Built an unbelievable operation of unbelievably talented people that you guys never see or hear from, that all have their fingerprints on an unbelievable day-to-day environment to work. It puts the wind at our players' backs when they walk in the building every day. I know our players appreciate that, but I just couldn't be happier for Clay and Sam, you know, to have that team and then to rebuild really from scratch and to get back here. Is an unbelievable organizational accomplishment for those two guys specifically, but for everybody that has worked here.
How close do you think this game, especially that first half, was to your team's best?
Pretty close. You know, I thought we had it all going. Defensive pressure, defensive help, game plan execution, and then offensively the potency of the attacks. You know, Minnesota threw different lineups. They threw different schemes today, and nothing we haven't seen, but it was quick and our ability to pivot in response to that was impressive. And the bigger picture thing is the focus, through the distraction of a closeout game to go to the finals is what was most impressive. I mean, they were laser focused today, and that allowed our best to come to the surface.
Mark, in your on-court interview, how'd it feel to be gallowed out there?
These guys, man. They're such a fun team. We're happy we're going to the finals, but I don't want to stop coaching this team either. That's how they are every day. And it's just an unbelievable experience every day to show up and be around them. I think they gain that energy from each other. I think that's also in a long season with a lot of ups and downs. Energy is a resource, and they bring energy to the environment, to each other, and we all benefit from that. First and foremost, I'm able to coach my best because of this group of players.
I know you got a lot of great performances out of different guys tonight, but for Shai to have yet another sort of transcendent performance in a big game, I think he assisted or scored on your first 5 baskets. I mean, just what did you particularly point to when you think about his performance tonight?
The tone. He just set an unbelievable tone. I think he understood his role in our mentality. He was a participant in that, and he was a leader in that, and he was ready to play from the jump, and Dort too, and on the defensive end. I thought those two guys specifically set the tone, and it's fitting because they've had their fingerprints on this build as we've layered guys on them, and Kenrich Williams have been here since the beginning, and those guys are such a huge part of the confidence we play with, the physicality we play with, and the day-to-day environment that we have. So for them to step up the way they did today was, I thought, fitting.
Mark, you had Alex Caruso and Hartenstein come through the in the offseason, and just can you talk about their additions and how they helped you through this Western Conference Finals?
It's felt like, I've said this every time everybody asks about them, but it's felt like they've been here forever. They've done an unbelievable job of being themselves and being confident in who they are and bringing their strengths to the team. They're not deferential, but they're respectful of the team, and they understood that this team had success prior to them being here, and they hopped on a moving train and did so seamlessly, and have only been additive from day one. And their impact has been. We're not here without those guys, regular season or here. I could say that about every guy on the team, but certainly their fingerprints are all over this, certainly in the postseason, and they've been all team, from the jump. It's been a pleasure to have them here.
Mark, to Jenny's point about being gallowed, and you mentioned it, how much easier does it make your job when you have this type of locker room chemistry? You cut through all that, the teaching, the instruction, and why do you think it is this way with this group?
Well, first of all, I don't know what everybody else's NBA coaching existence is like, but I operate at 100% capacity. There's nothing constraining me from coaching my best. There's nothing constraining our coaching staff from coaching our best. There's nothing constraining our chefs from doing their jobs. I mean, everybody in our locker room is grateful and humble, respectful, kind, professional, and it allows everybody to operate at full capacity, and we don't take that for granted. I don't take that for granted. And you ask why? I think it's where they come from. It's their families. It's their circles are, as impressive as they are when you broaden out and you look at their homes, where they come from, who's around them, who's talking to them now, who was talking to them when they were 10 years old. It all fits together and makes sense. They're great people first, and that's why. That's why it's so easy to coach this team.
Mark, after that on-court interview, you kind of went over and talked to Sam and embraced him. Did you get a chance to kind of reflect on the journey you two have been on together specifically to get to this point?
Yeah, we're in it every day, so there's not a lot of reflection going on in any part, but I'm incredibly grateful to him, as we all should be. I mean, every single person that's here, the day before they got here, he made the decision to bring them here. It's unbelievable. We all get to benefit from this environment that allows us to do our best work, and he's been the architect of that very quietly over time, and has assembled an unbelievable group of people, starting with our locker room. To Sam's question, I mean, he's he prioritizes the type of person that we bring in, and so it's no accident that these guys are who they are. But yeah, I have unbelievable gratitude for him. I know our players do. I know our whole staff does. And he deserves this. You know, he works tirelessly. No one's more determined. No one's more relentless in their day to day. He'll never make it about him, but you know, he's obviously a huge part of this. He and Clay.
Michael Martin, Let's Talk Thunder. Mark, throughout your tenure, you've talked about sort of planting seeds, and what's it been like to sort of see those seeds bloom that you planted all the way back in 2021, 22, and so on?
It's been great. You know, and the guys have followed the plan, the process. But I'll tell you, it makes it easy to trust the guys in a game like this. You know, you're driving in, you want to win the game, you want to do everything you can to win the game, and then you remind yourself of the work these guys have done, the habits they've built, and it makes it easy to just kind of, you know, let it play out. And like I said the other night, bet on them. And, you know, certainly today was a great day to bet on them. Anyone else? Yep, thank you.